Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to TradeStation. This is Michael Burke. I head up client training here at TradeStation, and today we have a very special event hosted by TradeStation Crypto as we look at the new TradeStation Crypto Trading Platform. Our host for this event will be James Putra, who's the Director of Innovation and Strategy, and we'll get to James in just a moment. Keep in mind that the following presentation is for educational purposes only. All of the symbols and trading ideas discussed by the instructor are for demonstration purposes and are not recommendations. Active crypto trading is not suitable for everybody, and you can read some additional disclosure information on our TradeStation Crypto website. So as I mentioned earlier, today's event is brought to you by TradeStation Crypto, and it's hosted by James Putra, who is the Director of Product Strategy and Innovation at TradeStation Crypto. And James has been involved in a lot of innovative projects here at TradeStation, and it's always great to have him on one of our events. So James, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mike, for that fantastic introduction. But thank you, everybody, for who's watching. We're really excited today to be talking about the TradeStation Crypto Platform. What's also pretty exciting for us is the fact that Bitcoin is up and moving and crypto is starting to rally again. So we have right now the market is open today until 5 o'clock. Every day from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern, the market takes a pause while we go ahead and do all the settlements and work through any of our daily transactions. So we have about 30 minutes before the market ends. So I want to kind of get everybody started, show you how to log in, walk you through some order entry in a live environment, and then we can drill into some of my favorite order entry interfaces and some of the kind of tips and tricks of the product that we've put out there. So right now I'm on the TradeStation.com page. I'm going to go ahead and log in. So you can go from any TradeStation.com page. You click login and you're going to notice you can log into any of the TradeStation properties. There's Client Center. That's where you're going to go to manage the underlying of your account. There's also, if you want to access your securities accounts, you can either use the web trading live. But for the purposes of this call, we're going to talk specifically about what's near and dear to my heart, TradeStation Crypto. So from this login screen, you go ahead and you click TradeStation Crypto login. And I've already set up my two-factor login. It's an extra layer of security, so we're going to kind of fast track that. But you're going to get this window. You're going to click login, get the TradeStation screen, and it's going to ask me for my multi-factor authentication, and that sends directly to my phone. It's sent to my phone for an added layer of security, so I'm going to approve this on my phone. And this just helps make sure that I am the right person, or I am the actual person going into the product. So now we're going to come in and load. What I'm going to show you here is essentially the default layout when you first come in. It should be fairly common to anybody that's traded crypto. For those that have not traded crypto, the interfaces are familiar, but you're going to see that there's some subtle differences. Generally looking at the overall platform, we start you out with a chart. Pretty basic chart. You can kind of see what's happening. We have a nice depth of market here on the left, which is what we call the order book. And the order book is multifunction. It's very nice because it gives you a nice view into all the offers and all the bids. And what's interesting here is that these are coming from external quotes. We have an aggregation engine that pulls in a number of different liquidity partners and exchanges. And that's what you're seeing is a consolidated view of the market here. So unlike your traditional crypto exchanges, we are a crypto broker, which allows us to sit independent of the various liquidity partners we have and pull them all in to get a best bid and offer. So for those of you that are used to trading stocks or futures, you're used to kind of a centralized national best bid and offer. Well, that doesn't exist in crypto. In crypto, what we have is a fragmented market that has a number of different isolated pools of liquidity, whether that's an exchange you know about, like maybe Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini. All those are very fragmented and they're stuck in these small pools. What we do is we look to aggregate liquidity from a number of different places. And our goal here is to keep adding more and more venues so that we can have a pretty good, deep, healthy liquidity pool, but allow you to get a view across the market to everybody that we're connected to, as well as see what those best bid prices look like. So right now, what we're seeing in our feed right now is the best bid and offer right now is 62.14 by 62.08. It's about a $6 spread on Bitcoin. This chart you're here, you can kind of start to navigate the market. So let's look at some of the other assets we have. When I click here in this top left, I'm going to be able to select a variety of different assets. So when I pop that window down, that's my symbol selector. Now I can see that there is Bitcoin Cash USD, you can see Bitcoin First USD, you can see Ethereum versus Bitcoin, Ethereum versus USD, Litecoin versus Bitcoin, Litecoin versus dollar, USD sorry, this stable coin is not currently offered on the platform, but it's something that we are preparing. Right now, you're seeing my live account, and as an employee, I have some additional things here like USDC. So I've got XRP USD. That one is another traded asset. So we've got quite a few different offerings here. That's generally the overall symbols that we have. Let's see, Bitcoin Cash. Let's see what's happening in Bitcoin Cash. So as I mentioned when we first started, today is an exciting day. We just had last week a pretty horrific sell-off in the market, and now the markets are starting to recover finally in crypto, which is nice. So there's been some great volatility and some great action. So let's see, that was Bitcoin Cash. Let's jump around and go ahead and look at something else here. Let's look at Litecoin. As you can see, we start to move around and we can see the other charts and the other order books. What I want to show you is how to kind of get in and mix up some of the different layouts we have and some of the things that make us unique. So as you look at this, we have our orders and events on the bottom. So orders is going to tell me any active orders that I have that are currently working in the market. My events is an event history. And these are all the activities I've had in the last, let's say 7 days. So as you can see, I'm quite active as I'm doing trading. Again, this is my live account, which we'll go ahead and place some trades in. I also can export this information too. So I have here, which is also pretty nice that I like, is this rates tab. And this rates tab is an interface that allows me to quickly see all the different assets that are in the order books. But also that has some order execution functionality too. These different modes here are something I really like. There's a drop down that's going to let me place a market order, a taker limit, or a maker limit. So what are those? Well, a maker limit, if you go back to the TradeStation traditional platforms, what you're going to find is that you have these auto limit prices, and a maker limit is equivalent to the join, where your buy order is going to join the bid and your sell order is going to join the offer. So it's great to get you right at that inside bid and offer very quickly. On the opposite side of that, when you look at that taker limit, it's going to throw a limit order and it's going to jump across. So when you're going to place buy, I'm going to throw a limit order to buy at the offer. And that's going to reach across, and it has a higher chance of getting executed because you're getting right there. Now it's an aggressive order. I like them a little bit better than market orders for my personal trading because I have a little bit more control. When I place a market order, it can fill, but it can continue filling until it goes above the price I'm interested in. When I hit a taker limit, I get likely filled at that inside ask if I'm buying, or I get likely filled at that inside bid if I'm selling. Another quick tour here. This total value, this tells me how much my portfolio is worth. And what it's giving me is the value of cash in my account plus the mark to market of all the crypto assets I have. So you can see here on the left on my balances, I've got 2 Bitcoin Cash. I've got some fractional units of Bitcoin. I've got some whole units and fractional units of Ethereum, and some dollars. What's difficult in a lot of the platforms is really to understand how much your portfolio is worth. And we've done a nice job here, which is to show you what the total USD value is. So crypto traders would appreciate that, was it's not easy to kind of figure out what your total value is. And I think the equity traders and futures traders would say this is just expected behavior. So it's pretty nice to have. Coming from that traditional market, I like being able to know exactly what my portfolio looks like. When I drill into the balances, I can add and remove assets. So it's nice. If I have nothing in XRP or nothing in Litecoin, I just want to keep focused on specific assets I have here. Let's talk a little bit about layouts, since we have still 20 minutes before the market closes. These 2 tabs are quite interesting up here, these navigation elements. When I click plus, it's going to allow me to change the symbols. But what this does is it gives me a small dashboard that I can interact and execute on. So I can see all the assets we offer. I'm able to go ahead and buy and sell. So we can go ahead and let's do a small buy from here. 0.0, 0.1. So I'm going to buy 0.1 BCH USD. The nice thing for you equity traders is this is fractional. I don't have to buy whole units. So if I don't want to buy whole Bitcoin Cash at 224, I can buy 0.1. I right now am currently set to market orders. You can tell because it says limit price here. As soon as I click limit price, it's going to allow me to enter a limit price. So If I want to buy, let's say 2, I'm going to put it below the market so I don't get filled. Remember, this is my live account. So I'm going to push buy below the market. The order was submitted successfully. So I am working in an advanced mode where I do not currently have order confirmations turned on. So let me see here if I can see where my order is. So I can tell here from the orders tab, I've got an order working in the market. When I close this down, I can see my order sitting here in the order book, which is quite nice. So I know where I am in relation to the rest of the market. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this for right now. And I'm going to show you how to turn order confirmations on or off. Up here where you see my name, this is going to be your account number. I didn't put the account number there because I didn't want to make that public, but you click on this and it's going to take you into the settings. We have a lot of different options. I'm not going to go through all these right now. Maybe if we have time at the end, I will go through all these. If I turn off one-click trading, this is going to now make sure I have my order confirmations on. So pro tip, this little setting here allows you to avoid order confirmations if you want to place those trades very quickly. If you're not confident, you can go ahead and make sure these are enabled. They're enabled by default, so you don't have to worry. You can turn them off if you want a more aggressive mode. So let's go back to the trade room. I'm up here at the top. I'm going to navigate to the trade room. And I'm going to go do the same thing I just did, and I'm going to have that with order confirmations on so everybody can see. So Bitcoin Cash, we're going to do 1 at 220. I'm going to place that order, so I enter the order book. What you see here is that order confirmation. This order confirmation is pretty good because it allows me to edit the properties of the order that I'm about to place. Let's say I decided, you know, I really didn't want 1, I wanted 1, 1. Well, I can edit it here. If I decided I wanted a market order or a stop, I can change that. You're going to see a little disclaimer here letting you know what happens behind the scenes. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that order was successfully submitted. You can see again, it popped down here in my orders. It also showed up in my order book. The order events is going to let me know that I have a submitted order. And this is all the order history. So if you think about on the web trading or the desktop platform, that is going to be your trade history or your order. I think it's called order history or trade history. That's what we have here. It's every event that's happened to that order, whether you placed it, whether you canceled it, that's going to show up. So keep that in mind here. And orders, again, working orders live in this spot, but they will, once you cancel them, they're going to disappear and they're going to still stay here in this order events that keeps track of the history, the transaction history of all the events. So let's go ahead and do something fun and actually place an order. So which one do we want to place? Let's go into Bitcoin. This one, it's fun to play with right now. There's usually the most liquidity in Bitcoin. That happens to be what most people are interested in at the current moment. So we can see the order book is quite rich. Let's go ahead and place some orders. So let's place one. I'll do a market order so you can see what's going on. Market order, it's going to be immediate or cancel. It's going to go to the order router, 0.1. So that order was completely filled, and you'll notice that my Bitcoin increased by 0.1. So I want to turn off the order confirmations. I don't like them. So I'm going to go and make sure that those are off. It's called one-click trading. I'm going to confirm this little disclaimer. Lets everybody know that when you place that buy button, that order is going to get sent right to the market. Okay, so now we place an order through this quick trade ticket. What I want to show you, everybody, that these buttons are really like, think about them like a preloaded order. So I can buy or I can sell. So I can sell at market, just sold that at market. If I want to change the properties of what's going to happen when I click that buy and sell, I'm going to click this market tab and it will change based on the type of order. So if I have a limit order, it's going to let me know that I have a limit order. And I can go in and actually see what I can set my limit price, set my quantity. If I want to change anything else about this, like let's say I want to go to a good till end of day, that's a day order, good till cancel to GTC, good fill or kill, or good till date. So for those of you that don't know, immediate or cancel, it tells the market to fill everything you can right now and cancel back the rest. And fill or kill tells the market to fill me now or send it back, fill everything or nothing. I like to use good till end of day. I tend to trade more on the intraday or the swing, so I like my orders to finish at the end of the day. There's a fee estimation, which is kind of nice once you plug in how much you're going to buy. So we know we're going to buy, let's just keep it simple math. We want to buy one Bitcoin at $6,000. It's going to tell me what my total buy is going to cost, or how much it's going to give me if I sell, if there's any fees involved in that transaction, and then what my average price would be as I bought or sold. So let's go ahead and do half a Bitcoin, and we will buy half a Bitcoin at limit. I'm going to set this limit up at 62. Let's do 62.10 and see if we can get filled on this one. I'll let it sit there while we navigate around. You're going to notice that my half a Bitcoin order has joined the order book down here in the lower left. Meanwhile, I'm going to close this down, and I'm going to show you some of my other more interesting interfaces and tools here. So remember, I was showing you this rates tab that let me keep an eye on what's happening in the market. I really enjoy this one because it lets me know what the percentage of the spread is. One of the interesting things with our market is because we have multiple external liquidity partners, they don't all price the same, which means you get to do some arbitrage at times when the different liquidity providers quotes cross. And it happens, we see it happen pretty commonly in the evening as the markets start to find the right prices. So instead of having to arbitrage like today, when you want to arbitrage, you need to have an account at, let's say, Coinbase, and an account at Kraken, and you're going to deal with trying to trade both of those different exchanges. So you're going to have two interfaces up. You're going to try to get those prices between those exchanges, and you're going to have to rotate money back and forth between them. So it becomes a bit of a nightmare. More sophisticated people have developed APIs, and they're able to manage that a little bit better. That's where we come in here, where we have a aggregation software that pulls all those prices in, lets you get a quick view of all the market, and then distribute those orders across all the available prices. So when those prices do cross, you're able to do that arbitrage without having to have all that infrastructure and headache that a hedge fund would or a larger player. So think about it as you have those really interesting ARB opportunities directly through here. And this rates tab lets you identify those ARB opportunities when they arise. One of my favorite interfaces here is this one called the Dealings tab. And I like this one. I think this is kind of a throwback to my FX days, where you get to use these order entry tools that look like this, these kind of two big buttons, buy and sell. You're going to notice here that there's only two. I can add as many of the assets as we want. You probably have seen these star buttons by now. And these star buttons are pretty nice because the star buttons allow you to add and remove. So they're called favorites, actually. When I unfavorited that, you see that it disappeared. When I want to add back, anytime you see these stars on the platform, you're able to add those assets to these preferred, to these favorites. So you can see here, I've added them to my favorites. If I want to remove them, you can remove them. But that also controls what you see here in this Dealings tab. So let's go ahead and play with this very exciting tool we have here. Again, I like Bitcoin. Just get rid of this one. Let's play with Bitcoin for a little bit. I'm going to put 0.2 out there just so we can remember. Remember, if you look here, I have one order working at 0.5. Market's moving away from me a little bit. I should point out that none of the market participants we have that are external can see these orders. So these orders are resting internally for us. They're resting on our internal order book, and they're waiting for those executable prices to be able to be sent externally. When those orders are sent externally, those orders are sent on an immediate or cancel. If you remember what we discussed on the immediate or cancel, when we send that order out to market, we let the market know, fill everything you can and cancel it back to me. So we're managing that order flow behind the scenes and being able to distribute those orders. So for example, if I wanted to do, let's say 10 Bitcoins, if I wanted to buy 10 Bitcoins, this order would, right now there's not 10 Bitcoins on the first few levels. What we would do would be we would break it up across the different venues that are connected that have the best prices. So our order routing methodology focuses on a couple of things. We preference the best available price across any partner we have. Then we go for size, then we go for time. So we're encouraging people to have higher volume and tighter spreads. And that's how the orders are going to be broken up. So if you have the best price, you'll get the order. That's how we work with the various liquidity partners. So as I'm going to go ahead and send this out, I'm going to send one order. I'm going to add it to the order book. The first time I'm going to do this is I'm going to send it as a maker limit. So we still have about 10 minutes before the market closes. Let's buy. You notice I can buy at 62.38. I'm going to place my bid, and I joined right here. I've got 0.2 right on the inside. If I were to go ahead and do the same thing at point on the opposite side, if I want to do a sell, actually, do I have 0.2? I do not have 0.2, but I have 0.006. Let's place that as a sell. And you can see that I am now sitting on both sides of the spreads. I can place orders on both sides. So now I'm currently managing my positions. I would say that managing lightly, I'm just keeping an eye on them. The system is doing all the work for me. If I wanted to go ahead and do a taker order, I can go in here and set my order to be a taker. I should call out though, before I do that, that this top corner lets me know, where you can see here the BTC balance. It lets me know that I currently am holding 0.006909 and that I have a free spot 00909 position because I have 0.006 in the market. So just to recap here, because I have an order to sell, this is going to show me how much I have currently available. And we just got filled on that spot 2 order that we sent out. So now my Bitcoin balance is 0.2 with a free balance of 0.200909. So I can now send larger orders here. So let's go back and let's do a taker limit, and let's go ahead and sell out that 0.2 that we just bought. So since it's a taker, I'm going to drop that 0.2 over on the other side. So it'll be selling to the bid. If you notice, the button switched. So I'll show you this if you missed it. Maker limit, buy is on the left, sell is on the right. Ask is on the maker limit, buy is on the left, and that's the bid price. Sell is on the right, and that's the ask price. When I hit taker, you're going to see sell is on the left, that's the bid price, buy is on the right, and that's the offer price. So let's go ahead and sell to the bid, 0.2, and I filled completely. So what do we just do? We sent a limit order at the bid price, and because we were because we reached across, we had the best available sell, and it was selling directly to the bid. So that was a good way for me to get out very quickly without having to send a market order. Sometimes market order might slip. Sometimes the markets are moving fast. So I prefer that one. And this is a great tool, especially when there's ARB opportunities for you to be able to get in and mix it up by, let's say we want to buy, so we want to sell. Oops, I didn't have enough quantity, it hasn't been filled yet. So this is a good example. The price is moving up, I went to buy and I didn't get executed. So I'll drop another buy. There we go. Both of them are completely filled. So now if I want to sell those out, because we're moving up, great scalping tool, can drop in, I fill completely. Okay, so now we've shown a couple of quick tools. Remember, we did the confirmations off. We've shown the dealings tab. We've worked through some of these quick trade tools up here. Talk a little bit about the order book. I'm going to go ahead and leave these orders working in the market for now. Maybe we'll get filled. What I want to show you here, which is something that makes us pretty unique, is how you can add and remove these different windows. So this Bitcoin is really one container. So everything is self-contained, is controlled by this specific symbol. When I change that symbol, everything in this internal window changes. You can go back to Bitcoin. This little hamburger menu on the left allows you to control what you see in the screen. So if you'd like to see the depth chart, this is a pretty nice tool. This is a tool that's common to crypto, but not so common to equities or futures. This is showing you the prices on the horizontal axis and the volume that's available on the vertical axis. If you use the mouse scroll wheel, you can zoom in and zoom out to kind of get a better picture. So our order book is lopsided right now. You can see we have quite a few more people willing to buy than willing to sell. So that as a trading perspective, lets me know where the interest is. And because we can see more people on the buy side, it tells me there's more people interested to buy. Now, when you look over here on the order book, we can see where they are. And those orders do extend all the way down into 2809. So there's a lot of people that are believing that the price is going to drop lower. We do have some offers to sell up here. Typically, the external liquidity providers are going to be closer to the inside, but these are going to be either customer orders or they're going to be the external liquidity providers. It's difficult to tell without the admin console, but at the end of the day, all these are firm quotes that you can go ahead and execute against. So now we've looked at this hamburger menu. I can add and remove the order form from this, although I find it much easier just to click the limit in the market to add and remove here. What I do like and what I was getting towards was some of the ways that we were able to set up the layouts of the screen. So Let me just check before it gets to 5 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and close my positions. So I have one. I'll leave it in there for now. At 5 o'clock when the market closes, the prices still continue to come in. My orders here that are day orders are going to cancel, and I will not be able to place any more orders, or I will not be able to execute any more orders until 6 o'clock when the market opens back up. So while we're closing the market, let's look at some of the layouts. This is a particularly unique feature to TradeStation. Oh, it looks like we got filled. TradeStation has a number of different layouts. So those of you that really enjoy the layouts in the platform, the TradeStation platform, we have something that you're probably going to enjoy. This is a different way you can do layouts similar to the web platform. You can have two charts horizontally. You can have, I'm sorry, that's vertically. You can have two charts horizontally, do two vertically. You can do three this way. There's a variety of different options. So I tend to like this view when I'm just scanning the overall market. I usually like to look at the order book. So I'll set something like this when I'm kind of watching what's going on in the different order books, but I don't really need to get in and to engage with the market. I also quite often will trade in this three chart configuration where I'll have, or what I'll do is I will have here on the bottom, I'll have the depth chart, turn off the price chart. So I can see very big what's going on with the depth. I will be able to go, let's convert this into BTC USD, so that'll help me. I can see what the overall depth book looks like in a very nice big view. And I can keep an eye on what's happening on Bitcoin and also interact in Bitcoin Cash. So that 2 Bitcoin Cash we have, looks like the market is selling off a little bit. It's 1 minute bar, so I wouldn't be too terribly concerned. And I'll close the deal in just so that's a little easier to read. So I like this view a lot, keeps me informed of what's going on broadly in the market. And in my style of trading, I do look to Bitcoin as the one that gives me some idea of where I think the market's going to go. But I like to have these other charts up at the top. So this is a pretty nice configuration. Again, I can execute from all these different interfaces allow me to control details of the execution. So as you look here, if looking at this depth chart in the bottom, I can actually start to control what price and how many. So if you see my order quantity here and my price is changing as I click in different parts of the chart. So if I want to go, let's say here at this price, which is kind of hard to figure out at this moment, 62.54, I can go ahead and sell 21.5 Bitcoins. If I come down here to the offer at 62.42, I can go ahead and actually, well, that would be selling. I could sell 62.42. I can sell about 100 Bitcoins. And if I go up here, back to where we were, so looking at 62.50 roughly, I can sell about 5.5 Bitcoins or buy about 5.5 Bitcoins. Please excuse me for the confusion. When I'm looking at the different order books, I can also do the same thing. So pay attention to this quick trade order bar. I can go in and select the quantity, and I can select prices and start changing my prices. So let's say I like 225.76 and I want to buy. It's going to give me 10 Bitcoins. I can place my order to either sell. If I want to sell, I'm going to join that part of the book. If I want to buy, I'm going to take out that part of the book. And since we have that order writing technology in place, if I click buy right now, if I can do this, well, I don't want to do that at this moment because the market's kind of moving, but if I click buy, I can buy all the way up until that value and I'll clear out that part of the order book. So now we're looking at these different layouts. It's very interesting because you can control all the different order forms that are in here. Let me go ahead and go back to this 2 chart. This is, I would say, my most preferred view. It allows me to view my orders very quickly and see what's happening inside of here. Okay, so as the market closed at 5 p.m., you will notice that that day order got canceled. But we can still keep working with the platform. We can also send any orders we want through to the order book. They will not execute. They will be suspended until the moment that the market opens up at 6. So what is pretty nice with this order book is you have the ability to aggregate the different prices based on quantity or quantity average. So you can start to interact with this and say, if I want to, based on price, I really don't want to deal with these decimals. So I want to work on a 2 tick or 4 tick or whole units, I want the order book to aggregate up to whole units. So if I put in a 1, I'm only going to see whole units, and the orders are rounded into this price. So for, how do I read this? For 62.51, there's a bid to buy an aggregated quantity of 9.5. So this is going to allow me, at that price, I can buy the total amount. So if I want to go ahead and buy, let's say, 50 Bitcoins, I can look and see. So for 50 Bitcoins, I'm going to have to pay 62.43 as my price. It's a little bit below market. That's what, about $20 below market. But it's nice because it tells me, so how much do I have to pay to get that full quantity that I would like to have? And then how much will I have to sell it for if I want to go, or how much will I have to sell for if I want to sell it down here, or how much would I have to buy it for if I want to buy it up here? Please excuse the confusion. Let's go into some of the other things that were kind of interesting. So quantity, again, this is, I think, the default. You can also aggregate on price. These little tiles up here are quite interesting. They also allow you to control presets configurations. So if I want to have, let's say I want one that's just got the chart and the order form, I can switch between turn it on and turn it off. So what other cool things can we do with this product? There's some interesting features you have here, which is day mode. I'm not a huge fan of day mode, but it's those of you that like something a little bit brighter, welcome to use it. I prefer night mode myself. Again, let's go through here and look at some of these other items that are available for you to play with. So in the settings, you're going to notice this is defaulted off. We are not displaying exchange codes. Right now, we are currently in advanced mode. So there is a simple mode if this is a little bit overwhelming. We can go ahead and look at that. Simple mode is very, very simple. It just shows you the assets you want, and you can buy and sell. You want to do limit price or market price. You can name your price, whatever you would like to do here. It's a pretty simple interface, easy to get familiar with. Buy and sell right off of it. It's not my speed, but I know that we do have a number of customers that really enjoy that easy to use interface. Night mode, again, I think this is day mode, night mode, show total account value. This is pretty interesting. Remember we talked about this total value up at the top right? If I would like to view my portfolio in terms of Bitcoin, well, that didn't work for this demo. All right, so it's not working the way I was expecting it. There is a way that you can change it to view your portfolio in the underlying asset that you'd like to see. Let's see over here under transfers. This functionality is soon to be released. You can be looking for this in April, the ability to do deposits and withdrawals. It's going to allow you to deposit and withdraw cryptocurrency, any supported cryptocurrency here. Your transaction report, this is quite a nice feature. This allows me to go back in and see all the various things that have happened. Do I have any corrections, credits, debits, deposits, commissions? You kind of filter through those. We have this thing here called tax report, which is quite nice. So if you have made cryptocurrency transactions and you'd like to upload them to your preferred tax accounting software, you can click tax report. It's going to let you do a date selection. So it will pick today's date and it'll take you through the end of the year. If I want to kind of get back to the beginning of January, I'll export and it will send me a nice CSV that is perfectly formatted for upload to your preferred provider. I won't name drop, but if there's any questions, I'm sure we can provide some providers for tax reporting. We also have a quick link to the Quickstart guide. This is something that the education team has done a great job with, is kind of giving you some tips and tricks to get started. They're going to walk you through logins, going to walk you into some of the basics about order entry and layouts. Hopefully that you'll find that useful. And that's going to bring me pretty much to the end of my demo here, getting back to the trade room. So we've given you a nice overview. It's been about 35 minutes. We've placed some trades. We've shown you some tips and tricks, how to turn those order confirmations off, switch between day and night mode, advanced mode, how to get in and actually place those quick orders. We did also talk about the dealings and the rates tabs. I have one more thing that I can show you, and then we'll go ahead and take questions from the audience. So you'll notice this gears, and I brushed over it. This is one of my favorite features. Any of the quantity tabs, you'll have this little gear inside of it. And this allows you to quickly see how much you have to buy, how much you have to sell. And buy, what it's doing is it's calculating roughly if I want to buy everything I have in US dollars in this asset, what could I buy? So it's about 4.5 Bitcoins. It's not going to take everything out of the account. It's going to take the vast majority, but it'll allow me to max out my USD buying power to buy Bitcoin. Let's say I want to do 25%, I can do 25%. So this was very useful. Something I like to do when you're trying to do these ARB opportunities and you're buying and selling everything you have. Let's say I want to quickly liquidate everything. I can just sell max. It'll give me everything I have to sell. So it's something that's great. It's also available on the dealings tab. It's available on, I don't think it's available on the rates tab, but rates tab is going to pop up. Rates tab is going to just take these quantities you have here. And I think that's about it. So we talked here also about this free balances. I think we can go ahead and see if there's any questions from the audience at this moment. Let me go to the chats. So we have a question from the panelists that's looking for a stop loss. Yes, we can go ahead and set stop losses. Stop losses are pretty good. It's going to be a stop market. At this moment, stop limits are not in play, but what you would do is you would go to the order bar. You would choose the stop type. You'd choose whatever you wanted to put your stop loss on, one. At this point, you would want to use day or good till date, depending on how long you want it to stay. I'm sorry, good till cancel. And let's say I want to do it as 200. You would go ahead and click sell at that point. So that is the stop loss functionality. I use it quite regularly. It's saved me quite a few times. So there's another question from the team here is looking for, will I be able to deposit from Coinbase? Absolutely. We would very much appreciate for you to deposit from Coinbase. So that deposit withdrawal feature, we are currently doing our beta testing with that. We expect that should be ready in the mid to late part of April. That'll allow you to deposit from any broker you want and also any of your personal wallets. We'll accept those deposits for you. We'll also give you the ability to do withdrawals to those brokers or wallets, although hopefully we delight you enough, we earn your business, and you want to stay with us and deposit with us and trade with us. Okay, there is another question from the audience about how long do the orders stay in the market? That's a great question. So this goes back to the time in force. If you do good till end of day, those orders are going to cancel at 5 o'clock Eastern. So every day at 5 o'clock Eastern, we do a reset. We go ahead and take a pause and we cancel all pending orders that are set for day orders. We do offer good till cancel. That one is going to stay active for 90 days in the market. We do that so that the system doesn't run up a whole mess of orders that are no longer useful. So keep that in mind, good till cancel, 90 days, and that will go ahead and automatically cancel. If you do good till date, you can specify a time, a date and a time you'd like this order to cancel. So if you'd like this to cancel tomorrow at 2, you can go ahead and cancel it tomorrow at 2. Okay, so another question is clarification on deposit from wallet with an update. Yes, so in April, we do our market pause on the first Saturday of every month. So first Saturday of every month, we are down for about 24 hours. So we close at 6 o'clock on Friday and we open on the first Saturday at 5. At that point in time, there's scheduled maintenance. At that point in time, we're going to be rolling out the functionality for deposits and withdrawals for a larger test group. We expect that we will make that live. The current trajectory looks like mid-April. And so provided all the testing goes appropriate, we should be ready to accept deposits in the middle part of April. We'll definitely keep you posted if it lingers a little bit longer in testing. Okay, so next question here. There's simulated version for practice trades and learning how to navigate the platform. Currently, there is not a simulator version of this one. It is all live. It is on the roadmap to add a simulator. We recognize the importance of being able to get in and kind of mix it up to be able to do those test trades. So right now, no, it is something that's a highly requested feature that we are very interested to do. We just do not have that at the moment. So next question, trade sizes. What are the smallest amount of trade sizes? It does vary per asset. you're going to be able to determine the smallest by each order ticket on each asset will inform you what the smallest size is. So at Bitcoin Cash, the minimum order size is 0.01 Bitcoin Cash. If we were to look at here at Bitcoin, see what the minimum order size is. The minimum order size is 0.001. And so for the most part, that's going to be fairly the minimums. If you go into XRP USD, you're going to see a little bit bigger order size. Minimum quantity is 100 for Bitcoin Cash. It works out to be roughly, if you were to translate it into dollars, you're going to find that the minimum orders are going to be about $10 on the minimum order sizes. But from there, you can do larger decimals. So as long as you meet that minimum, you could do 0.001. You can even go further out to another decimal on most of those order quantities. So you have 4 decimals to work with as long as you're above 0.1. Okay, any other questions? Awesome. So I think this was a great conversation. Just want to remind everybody that market is closed from 5 to 6. You can place your orders, and we're going to be starting to rock and roll again at 6 o'clock. I look forward to hearing all the feedback of everybody that's engaged with the platform. Please let us know, good or bad or ugly. We definitely want to make this thing successful, and excited to hear how everybody likes it or doesn't like it and what we can do to improve it to make it a good experience. So keep on the lookout. We're continually rolling out new features on this platform. I'm going to go ahead and share my email for those of you that have any questions. You can reach me directly. It's going to be, my email for TradeStation is jputra, P-U-T-R-A, @tradestation.com.
Thank you, James. That was outstanding. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll be doing more of these types of crypto events in the future, so keep an eye on our calendar. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, James. And we'll see everybody at another upcoming event. Have a great evening.